Oh God, I did something so silly. I was so annoyed with myself. And I'm like, no. Hello and welcome to a new vlog. I've been wanting to vlog, but I've been staying with my boyfriend and I don't know. I kind of feel like I can't vlog there. I mean, I can, but I kind of feel like no. So anyway, I am looking after 3 wonderful cats for the next 2 weeks, and so now I'm gonna vlog and I'm gonna catch you up on everything. Life, hot London. It's been so flippin' hot, like, oh God, I mean, seriously, too hot. I saw this video on Instagram, which I'm gonna insert here.
Why the hell does British heat feel like hell compared to the rest of the world? Start with the air. Britain is surrounded by sea on every side. That water pumps moisture into the atmosphere, making it thick, heavy, and suffocating even when temperatures look harmless. Your body cools through sweat evaporation, but when the air is saturated, sweat sits there. Cooling system shuts down. Then the buildings. Every home in Britain was built for one thing: surviving brutal winters. Thick walls, heavy insulation, tiny windows, masterclasses in trapping heat and refusing to let it leave. Almost nobody has air conditioning. MAP AC ownership across Europe and the UK sits at the very bottom, basically zero. Then heat waves arrive without mercy. Here's what makes Britain uniquely unbearable. In actually hot countries, everything is designed around heat. Architecture, culture, daily routines, adapted over centuries of survival. Britain built everything assuming it would always be cold and miserable. The climate changed, the buildings never did, and every single summer gets worse.
I went to Whitley Bay near Newcastle upon Tyne. I also looked at Newcastle upon Tyne, and I'm gonna put some footage in here. But I didn't film it as a vlog because I was just not up for it. I just really needed a holiday and just do nothing. I mean, not do nothing, but just relax and do almost nothing. I had such a wonderful time. The cats I looked after up there were so easygoing and really sweet. There was one situation where it was raining outside. By the way, I didn't have the very best weather when I was there. It was very mixed, but it was okay. I had a very nice time. One time when it was raining, one of the cats came in and he would sometimes cuddle up with me, but not always. But he was soaked with rain and he jumped on me and he wanted to have a big cuddle even though he was so wet. And I had my laptop and I was actually editing and I was like, don't touch my laptop. And then he was just so desperate for a cuddle. I decided I put the laptop aside. I just have a cuddle with him. And also the family, I met them before they went on holiday. They were so nice. They picked me up from Newcastle and they told me all the things that I can do in the area, and they were so nice and so helpful. And I was so lucky with the house and how it was situated, because it was only a 5-minute walk to the beach, and it was also only a 5-minute walk to the shops. Although the bigger grocery shop was about 10-12 minutes, but that's okay. I mean, I didn't have to go there every day, but there were lots of little shops very close by, and also transport very close by. The metro, I didn't know they had a whole system up there, but when I did go to Newcastle, I actually used the bus because buses are usually cheaper than trains. And also I like going on buses when I'm in a place where I'm new, because you see more, and I just like that. And also I like bus rides, actually. I really like bus rides, and when I'm on holiday I don't have to worry about time, so that was really nice. What else did I want to tell you? Oh yes, so God, I did something so silly. I was so annoyed with myself. I made an appointment sounds so formal, but anyway, I was gonna meet one of my best friends in Germany via video call, and we wanted to have a drink together. And so we both bought, I don't know what he bought actually, but I bought Prosecco. And I was really pleased with myself that I got such a good deal. Like, I think I paid £6 at Morrison's, And then we start the call, I go to the kitchen, I take my Prosecco out, I open it, I pour the Prosecco in a glass, and then I notice it's not my Prosecco. And I'm like, no. And then, even worse, I came to find out it wasn't just any old Prosecco, it was a champagne from a really fancy brand called, I hope I'm saying this wrong. I hope I'm saying this right. Moët en Chandon. I never heard of this brand before, never. Looked it up online, £45. £45 for one bottle of champagne, which by the way tastes almost the same as the Prosecco that I usually buy. God, I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed that just by making this one tiny mistake, I lost £45. So next day I went to Morrison's and they had it there, and well, I was pleased they had it because I wanted it sorted ASAP. Like, I didn't want them to come home and it's not there. So anyway, since it was already opened, I made the most of it, and I cheered to life. And I mean, my friend and I, we had a really good laugh about this story, but certainly I'm going to be careful now. I don't want to make the same mistake again. But yeah, so that's happened. And then I've come back to London, and it's pretty much been extremely hot ever since I've come back. So I'm going to show you now how I'm making iced coffee. It is super easy. You don't need to buy any of those fancy syrups or anything like that. You can literally use any coffee you have at home. Any, what is it called? Not powdered, any instant coffee. But today, because I have a really nice coffee machine here, I'm going to use that. But I just want you to know, I usually actually use instant coffee for this recipe. Yeah, okay, I'm going to show you now. So in my case, I'm just using this Whitley machine, which you don't have to. I'm going to put my mug here, obviously, turn the machine on. I'm not going to use all of it, that's why I put a second mug here. So when it looks like there's not a huge amount of coffee coming out anymore, that's when I'm going to use the other mug. Because I just want coffee in the bottom. Okay, I think this is enough. Okay, it doesn't really work well when you hold the camera in your hand. Okay, so now got the mug here. Gonna put ice cubes in. Really as many as you like. I'm going to put 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 is plenty really, especially if they're as big as this. I'm just emptying this, so that's why I put, it was kind of 4.5. Now, any milk that you like, I'm using regular cow milk, but you can literally use any milk that you like. Fill it up. Oh, now I didn't show you how to fill it up. Wait 1 second. Yeah, so basically filled it up and ready to go. Very easy. And if you want sugar, you can obviously add sugar. I don't like sugar in my coffee. Don't you just love the feeling of an empty house? I arrived here 1 hour ago. The people who live here have just gone to the airport. And I've spent the past week with my boyfriend and his family, and that's obviously like very happy to do that. But when you've been surrounded by people all the time and I come to a space like this just by myself, oh, it's just heaven. It's just heaven. I love being by myself sometimes. I mean, when it's really long stretches of times, like for example, years ago when I was writing my books. By the way, if you don't know that I've written books, they're always linked in my info box. I took some time off work and I just looked after cats and dogs, and I was traveling around a bit whilst I was writing these books. And What did I want to say actually? Oh, and I started to feel a bit lonely because it was just me like the entire time. But now I feel like it's a good mix of being with people and being by myself, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. Oh my god, I absolutely love it. Just enjoying every second. I wanted to show you the book that I bought that I'm going to read. I mean, I started it, but I haven't really come very far, as you can see. It's One Hit Wonder by Lisa Jewell. I love this author, Lisa Jewell. I read a couple of books from her and she's such a good writer, really amazing. But ever since I finished my last book, I haven't been able to get into reading again. I took this book on holiday and like I said, I literally read like 3 pages. It'll come again. I have these phases where I just read and read and read, and then I have a phase again where I don't read much at all. Oh, I forgot to tell you. It was my birthday. It was my birthday on Wednesday. Today is Saturday. My boyfriend and I, we both took the day off, but it was 36 degrees. 36 degrees. Like, we went out, we had a nice time, but when we got home, it was like, we were so tired, even though we didn't work that day. Just the heat just completely drained us out. We had lunch and then we went to, basically what we decided to do is, he didn't buy me a gift, but we planned to go to Uniqlo and I get to pick some items. And what I noticed when I was looking at things and I was trying on things, how nice it was not to be in a rush and just to be able to look at everything. And also because it was in the middle of the week, it was not so busy. I could try on whatever I want. There wasn't a queue at the fitting rooms and it was literally so nice. And actually I can show you what he bought for me. So here are the things that I picked, but that he bought for my birthday. These are like, they are called cycling shorts or something. The reason I bought them is because well, they have these foam pockets which I don't have in any of my leggings. That's actually not the reason I bought them. I bought them because I wanted them to wear underneath dresses in the summer, and also I would just wear them in the house. I know people also go out with these. I might not actually go out with these. I just wanted a good quality shorts that I can wear underneath. And then I really needed a pair of shorts because I really only have one and that's not enough for summer. So I got these. I really like this color. And yeah, so these are, and also I like that it's, I think, I don't know, linen or cotton, but something that's light, because the other pair of shorts that I have is jeans and it gets you so hot. And then I bought something that I haven't got at all and that I've been thinking about. A long skirt, which is really airy and feels really wonderful when you have it on. And I picked a light color, which is very unlike me. I mean, I guess this is sort of a light color too, but because, I don't know if I've ever told you this, it's not glamorous to tell anybody, but it can happen that I spill things on me. So that's why I usually don't buy anything light. But if you wear dark colors in summer, it heats up even more and you get so hot. And also it's just nice to wear some bright colors in summer. So that's why I went for this. And because there was another dark blue one, stripy, that looked really, really nice. But I'm happy with my decision. Yeah, so today is still 30 degrees, but it's not as hot as the previous days. I've had a few days off. Well, I always take my birthday off. But then I also had Thursday and Friday off, not by choice, just because my clients were cancelled. But I'm going back tomorrow. Going back to work tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. It's always when there was a stretch where I wasn't working, I'm usually really looking forward to go back to work. It's so interesting. in zone 2. That's what I like about some cities, or like a city like London, that it's a big city and there are parts of the city that are always really busy, like for example Oxford Street, but there's also parts of the city that are really peaceful, really quiet. Can you hear this airplane? Some airplane noise. You know, not too long ago, I don't think I was vlogging then either. I might have a clip for you as well. I was looking after a cat not in Richmond, but like sort of close to Richmond, and the airplane noise was incredible. I was really surprised. I mean, I knew there would be some airplane noise, and it's not that I couldn't sleep or anything like that. It was mostly when I was in the garden that I noticed that the airplane noise was crazy. I'm really glad that I'm not moving there, because like as I just said, it doesn't bother me that much, but I wouldn't want to live somewhere permanently where you have that kind of noise. Like, there's a lot of things I can put up with temporarily, but that I don't necessarily would want to put up with long term. But I was literally so surprised how loud it was and how many airplanes. Like, when you are in a location like that and you're in your garden and you look up and you literally have an airplane every 30 seconds, it just reminds you how much air traffic there is. And also then it reminds you of how much damage we're doing to the earth by this much air traffic. And then that leads me to the next thought of the people who want to extend Heathrow, make it bigger. And I'm like, no, I mean, I know there's a conflict between the economy and the environment, but we need to bring the two together. I mean, the fact that we're having such hot summers in London is just showing that we're going into a really wrong direction. So tomorrow afternoon, when I come back from work and I'm recording this, that I'm actually doing it, I will make matcha with you. My boyfriend bought me matcha powder and I'm going to try it and I'm going to take you along. I don't want to do it today because I'm already on my second coffee and I don't want to add any more caffeine to my system. So while I couldn't film for you, I did prepare some videos, and there's one video I'm going to film about au pairing. For any of you who don't know, my channel when I first started it years ago was actually just about advice for au pairs and nannies, but I let AI create some thumbnails for me. And one of them I think is pretty good, and that one I'm going to show you here. And please tell me what you think of that one. And then there's another one when I saw it. Okay, it looks good, but maybe it's a bit over the top. I mean, it looks very much like you can tell it's made by AI. I'm going to show you here. And I want you to tell me what you think. Are these too over the top? I really don't know. I sometimes really struggle making good thumbnails. And that's why I tried AI, but I don't know, maybe I need to give AI more input. Do you have any advice? Also, I wanted to ask, who of you is watching true crime? Because I've been watching this channel a lot. It's called 48 Hours. I think it's actually a TV show in the US, but they have put a lot of the episodes on their YouTube channel. I feel like if I recommend you stuff from Netflix, you already know about it because they're kind of like almost everybody knows about the Netflix stuff. Some of the cases that you can watch on 48 Hours are not as interesting, but some of them really, really are. So if you are interested in that, I could compile a list of the ones that were really, really interesting. I just remembered I wanted to tell you something else about my birthday. So I've been wanting to try this coffee shop, Blank Street, because it's really hyped here in London. Tell me in the comments below if you have it in your city. I think so far it's only in the bigger cities in the UK, but apparently it's also in America. I don't know if it's in Germany. Anyway, I really wanted to try it. Actually, I did try it for the first time when I was on my way to Newcastle, and because it was a bit chilly that day, I tried the hot matcha, and that was really good. I was so impressed because I wasn't into matcha before, and then I really wanted to try the cold matcha. So on my birthday we went to Blank Street, and because they also have a summer collection, I tried the coconut cream matcha, and it was very, very good. But if you want to taste the matcha, I feel that this one is more like a sweet treat, and I really liked it because I like the taste of coconut. But I'm also weirdly starting to really like the taste of matcha if it's well done, or like if it's high quality matcha. So then later that day, because it was my birthday, I went to that Blank Street again, and I got a regular cold matcha, and I really, really liked it. But the reason I was sort of on the fence, I think, is because I've had a cold matcha a few times from Starbucks now, and I kind of got used to the Starbucks one. So the Starbucks one, the matcha taste is slightly stronger than the one in Blank Street. So I guess it depends what you like. And then my partner, he got just a regular cold latte, and that was really, really good. So if you're thinking about trying, then I can definitely recommend. Here we are. Love this. No steps for me. Guess what? Sainsbury's also has a 28-piece thing. So here's the juice. This is my basket, and guess what? I almost forgot the one thing I came here to buy, which is ice cream. So I'm going to find it now. Oh my god, have you seen this before? This Magnum and this Magnum, they look so yummy. I'm going with this old favorite of mine. Wow, that was a very efficient trip. I only paid £12 for all of these things because literally almost everything I wanted was on sale, which is very rare, but I was very lucky tonight. And I even got my favorite ice cream for only £2.50. Such a deal. It is so hot and humid. There were lots of people shopping on a Saturday night, you know, that's the thing. Oh, sorry, that was a cat hole. Anyway, I'm gonna have my ice cream and watch true crime and just enjoy myself. I have to get up early tomorrow. I'm working in the morning, but that's okay. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm not waking up early, but going to work.
Please put the card into the card reader and follow the instructions.
I've just come back, went shopping before coming back, as you just saw. It was a really nice morning, but what I wanted to tell you was I had such a bad night. Literally got so little sleep because First, I just couldn't fall asleep for two reasons. Mainly because it was so hot. But secondly, also, I don't know why every time I turn on the camera, the cats start eating. Anyway, yeah, the other reason is that I had a few days off before this and I got into this routine staying up late, so I couldn't fall asleep earlier. And then around 4:30 a.m. I woke up because it was suddenly really, really cold. There was like a real drop in temperature. So I had to get up, put on a jumper and go back to bed. But obviously, again, couldn't fall asleep immediately, so I didn't get much sleep at all. But today, I think it's 25 degrees, so it is much more bearable. And work was really nice. It was nice to come back to work. And transport was easy too, because today's Sunday, so transport is not always easy on a Sunday. I've just finished filming a video and I'm sipping on my decaf coffee. Something I wanted to chat about is, if you watched a few vlogs ago, I mentioned about long distance friendships and some friends you may be wanting to have a closer, or I may be wanting to have a closer relationship. But the other day, funny enough, I would have never listened to this had I not have the worst neck stiffness. I was not able to even sit up. I was only able to lie down and that was it. Because of that, I listened to the Mel Robbins book, which is called Let Them. I had downloaded that a while ago, but I hadn't really listened to it. So I listened, or it was just by chance really. I listened to the chapter about friends. It was really mind-opening, do you say that? Because she made me realize something. She pointed out that when we're at school, when we're at university, we're always with one stream of people who are kind of going in a similar direction, similar age group, potentially similar interests, things that you can talk about that you have in common. But then you all go your separate ways and you probably have different friends from different backgrounds, some from back then, some from your work, and so on and so forth. And she says that it does get harder to keep a friend group when you're older. And maybe we need to be a bit more forgiving about how we think things are supposed to be, when we think this person needs to be on the same page with us. That's not to say that you should just be friends with everybody or that you can't let go of any friends. Sometimes it's right to let go of friends, but sometimes you also just let your friends do what they need to do and not really have such a harsh opinion or so much judgment. And when she said that, that really hit home. That was really true for me. I should listen to the rest of the book. I just woke up from a 2-hour nap. It's because I didn't sleep last night. I'm just surrounded here. Nice flowers, bananas, smoked paprika. Nice little thing. I'm going to cook some supper now. I've decided I'm gonna make chicken, potatoes. What else did I want to make? Corn. Well, let me just wake up. I'll show you. I'm seasoning the chicken. By the way, this is not just for today. I'm having leftovers with salt, ground cumin, and smoked paprika, and then I'm going to have them sitting on lemon slices. And the potatoes, I'm going to season them with sea salt and smoked paprika and olive oil, and then I'm just gonna mix it up, same here, and then it goes in the oven for about 40 minutes. This is what they look like now, but I still need to massage it in. Okay, so the food's nearly ready. I'm gonna take it out in a few minutes. And then I also made some corn. I just prepared my breakfast for tomorrow, so all I did is I put some of this granola in this box and added some brown sugar. And then in the morning when I get up, I put a couple of spoonfuls of Greek yogurt in there, and then I take it to work. I eat it there because it's a bit early to eat in the morning. And then I set the things that I want to take in the morning out on the counter so I don't forget. So the bananas here, because I take that and that, I eat that on the way. You saw that actually when I was at the bus stop today. I ate the banana. And then, yeah, that. And this is here because usually I really love to drink something on the way to work. And usually it's green tea. However, it's been too hot. And of course I could put a cold drink in there, but I didn't really fancy anything this morning, and I don't know about tomorrow. Let's see. And now I'm taking my vitamins. I'm taking glucosamine and chondroitin. I don't know how I say this. Apparently this is good for my knees. And then I'm taking calcium. And if I was in my own home, I would take a few other supplements, but when I'm looking after cats, I don't take all of my supplements. Oh, and I forgot, I'm also taking this vitamin D3 and K2. If you didn't know this, apparently when you take vitamin D3, it's really important to take it with K2 because otherwise your body doesn't absorb it properly, if I'm right. So I don't know if I should buy another one of these when I go to Germany. The thing with this is that this is a liquid, and you're supposed to do 1 drop a day. It's really difficult to know when it's exactly 1 drop. And I don't know, when it comes to liquids, I find it kind of more difficult to take liquids. I honestly don't know why. I honestly don't know why. It's not that it's difficult to take it as a liquid, but I seem to forget it more because it's not the same consistency as the other supplements. It's that time of the day, time to clean up. So I put everything in containers. This is for here. I'm gonna put some of these in there, and that's gonna be my lunch for tomorrow. Then I'm gonna turn the dishwasher on, and later on tonight I'm going to fill up the ice cube tray as the last thing in the day. And now I'm gonna get my favorite ice cream, pick an episode of 48 Hours True Crime, and just relax. So I'm gonna say bye here. I hope you enjoyed the vlog, and see you next time. Bye.